We have vast resource wealth. We're a resource-rich nation in a world that's never needed resources more. With the emergence of the U.S. economy and by virtue of that, kind of the resurgence of the Chinese economy. I mean, it's still running at a very strong growth rate. It's just its growth rate has slowed, but we expect that to come back. That's only good for Canada, and that only help the resource sector and kind of make those prophecies in terms of what we expect the resource sector to do come true. As far as the financial sector is concerned, Canada's got a very strong footing. We've become a little bit of a model to the world when it comes to how you should interact with your financial sector. It's been a strength of ours and will continue to be a strength of ours. As far as Canada's construction industry is concerned, we know the demand is there. We're up to that demand. The question is right now, will we have enough labor to do it? And right now we don't. And every day that passes, it becomes a bigger issue. And we've always known this issue has existed, and the construction industry's worked really hard to mitigate it. But we have several options available to us, but by far our biggest challenge right now is labor shortage, because the demand is huge and we need to have the labor to keep up with it. 80% of what we produce goes to the US. And that's been a reality for a long time and will continue to be a reality. I think what's happened with Canada is we've diversified our economy a little bit. So while the US economy has had its challenges since late '09, we didn't. I mean, we did have some challenges, but we recovered a lot quicker. We've recovered every job that we've lost during that period. One of the reasons is we've opened up the markets. I mean, Canada right now, by virtue of free trade, has access to over 2 billion people in the world. And that's significant for Canadian exporters, especially when 50% of our exports are resource-based, whether it's forestry, mining, or oil, or energy. So, the U.S. will always continue to be a major trading partner. More so, the U.S. is important because as the U.S. economy recovers, it'll help the global economy, and Canada will only benefit from that. So we're pretty excited about it. The demographic map in Canada is changing on many spectrums. Let's talk age, first of all. Right across Canada, not unlike every major industrialized nation, we have aging population. And that goes back to creating a challenge for labor force. Second challenge or interesting trend in Canada is how the demographics are shifting. Ontario continues to be the most populated component of our country and still growing. I mean, Toronto attracts about 200 to 300,000 people a year to that region. So it's still very strong, still very growing. But what's happening is the shift and the balance in the country is changing. So we used to have, beyond Ontario, the greatest, second largest population base, Quebec East, is now shifting west. More so, Alberta, within the next 15 years, will be just as populated as British Columbia. So things are changing. Energy resources are changing it. Cities will continue to emerge in rural areas. Northern Ontario, Fort McMurray will continue to grow. Northern British Columbia around copper and forestry and hydroelectric power. So the shifts are changing in terms of age, but also where people are moving to. It's where the jobs are. Credit to all levels of government for putting greater emphasis on it. It has improved, but the fact of the matter is, and the whole world knows this, not just Canada, Canada has two primary challenges when it comes to infrastructure. It's got a deficit in terms of its need. It needs to expand it because we are growing, and I'll come back to that in a second, but it also has aging infrastructure, which is a bigger challenge because not only do we need to expand our infrastructure, we need to catch up to where it should be today. So huge amount of attention has been paid to this, whether it be in our industry through the associations, lobbying federal government. The federal government has responded in several iterations of the budgets, and it just seems to be getting more and more focus, including the next federal budget, which is imminent. I think Flaherty said that infrastructure will be a major focus, including mega infrastructure projects, which is good news because it has improved, but we still have a long way to go. In terms of expansion, we need infrastructure in places we've never had to think about putting infrastructure before, rural to get access to these resources. And so there's two challenges there. I think the whole world sees it, and I think it's going to be a major driver of our construction economy going forward.